Got my eyes straight ahead, got my head in the game. With the red light on, I'm just waiting for the change. Keep my head down low.
Hi, Jay Fallon. Thanks for listening to The Slippery Slope. So let's get straight into this report that came out through Alex Berenson's Unreported Truth. The headline says, urgent. More mRNA, more disease. A well-designed new study finds mRNA COVID boosters raise the risk of respiratory illness. I don't know about you, but the area where I am, probably the last 12 months, I've noticed myself and I've heard a lot more people being put in hospital because of various respiratory illnesses in this area. So it just seems anecdotally that there is a lot more respiratory illness in my immediate area, the Whitsundays, and also up around the Townsville, Mackay area as well, in those hospitals. And I know in this area, in my local hospital, they were reporting a big COVID outbreak just on the weekend too. They had a lot of medical staff were caught up with that. Treating a lot of COVID patients again still. So this one says people who received booster shots against COVID had a sharply higher risk of becoming ill with flu or COVID-like symptoms, a new study has found. So the study builds on earlier data from the Cleveland Clinic and provides the strongest evidence yet that mRNA shots make people more likely to suffer repeated respiratory illnesses over time. Like I said, this is what I've noticed in my local area, and granted, it's just anecdotal, but it does seem very concerning. If you can see, I've known people who have just been, it seems like they're quite well, and they're suddenly just attacked by some kind of respiratory illness. Some people have passed away very unfortunately, and I know that the hospitals in this region have been struggling to keep up with COVID-19 in our hospitals. So it is a very pressing issue in my area anyway. It says, so this is the opposite, obviously, of what vaccines are supposed to do. As jab advocates and big pharma fight a rearguard action to protect the mRNAs, the new study offers more evidence how badly the shots have failed. So the researchers tracked almost 2,000 Swiss healthcare workers during the 2023-2024 winter season. They found those who had received one booster were 56% more likely to get sick, while those who had received two were 70% more likely. Even after the researchers matched the workers by risk factors, they found that those who had received at least one COVID booster were about 50% more likely to be sick. They posted their findings on August 9 in an open access journal published by Nature. These findings suggest that COVID-19 boosters may not offer clear short-term benefits in a post-pandemic setting and may even increase short-term illness risk. The researchers wrote, this raises questions about the best use of booster vaccines moving forward. The paper is not the first time that researchers have found that mRNA COVID jabs not only do not work, but may increase the risk of illness. As early as 2022, Cleveland Clinic researchers reported that people who had taken more mRNA shots had a higher risk of COVID. Exactly the opposite of what it's supposed to be doing. If you're watching this on video, it's got a graph here showing some of the figures, and also too, I would encourage you to go and read this report and check out some of the links taking you to these studies, so you can check it out for yourself. Don't just believe what he's writing here, but go to the sources. But the new study has several strengths, including detailed data about the Swiss workers that enabled the researchers to match comorbidities, other risk factors in who took shots with those who did not. In addition, the researchers knew when people had gotten shots, and they found the extra risk appeared to lessen over time. That fact is good news for people who took shots years ago and are hoping their immune systems are not permanently impaired. But the fact the risk wanes with time is further evidence the shots themselves, not some hidden statistical factor, are increasing it. Finally, the researchers reported that people in the study who had taken flu shots had a slightly lower risk of becoming ill with respiratory illnesses. That's the result one would expect from a vaccine that works, even marginally, as he says, and suggests the study was properly designed and run. So, why do repeated mRNA shots seem to raise the risk of getting COVID and possibly other respiratory illnesses too? One possibility is that the shots keep people from developing robust natural immunity to COVID following their first infection. Another is that the problem is even broader and that the mRNAs have done long term damage to the immune system that may make people more vulnerable to many different diseases. Almost 5 years after health authorities and governments pushed more than 1 billion people to take the mRNAs, we still have far more questions than answers about their long term effects, which isn't stopping jab advocates, particularly in the United States, from continuing to push them. I think these kinds of studies are very important because I was up in the hospital on the weekend and just happened to have a little issue. I had to go up to the hospital for a couple of hours for. So the hospital just happens in my local area, just happens to be having a COVID outbreak up there, and they got part of the hospital. I'm not sure if it was on lockdown or what, but yeah, an outbreak in my local town. Um, Anecdotally, I'd heard about a lot more respiratory illnesses in my local area. These kinds of studies, I believe, are very important because while I was up in the hospital, I noticed there was a lot of advertising still getting around in the hallway saying, "Hey, don't forget to get vaccinated against COVID. Go and get your booster and all this kind of stuff." So they're still pushing it in a lot of these areas. Yeah, in the hospitals and that they're still pushing it. So I think it's very important to keep up to date with these studies and see exactly what is happening, and don't. I'm not against getting vaccinated by any means. I am against getting vaccinated with these against the COVID and against or with these mRNA jabs because I think it's been proven that they've been completely unreliable. Let's just put it that way. But it's very concerning. They're still pushing these jabs, while at the same time, in some parts of the world, these big pharmacy companies are fighting against legal action, which is coming their way. People who have been injured by the jabs, companies are fighting, fighting legal action. So it's important to keep up to date with what's going on. I think it's very concerning that we still in our society we're still pushing the jabs, even though seems to be a lot of evidence coming forward about the damage that they have caused and about what, and also anecdotally there does seem to be a large rise in respiratory illnesses just in my local vicinity. Do your own research, check out some of these studies, and if you have been vaccinated, I would think very carefully. I would think long and hard before getting a booster. But look, it's just very important to see. It's going to be interesting to see what else comes out when they can continue to do these studies. It's unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be surprising if it comes out in the future that these COVID boosters or the mRNA shots in general have been responsible for other illnesses, for a rise in other illnesses, other medical issues within our society. So anyway, very interesting to see what Alex Bereson's reporting on and some of these studies that they're doing in other parts of the world. Fortunately, other parts of the world aren't afraid, as which contradicts what's happened here in Australia, but they're not afraid to chase down the truth and find out exactly what issues people are having from these vaccines. But here in Australia, it seems like our medical professions and our politicians would rather bury their head in the sand when it comes to the mRNA jabs, because no one wants to get blamed if people are actually getting sick from these jabs. Anyway, check it out for yourself. I'll put the links up for the story in whatever you're watching this on, YouTube or Spotify and Apple, something like that. I'll put the links up so you can check it out for yourself. My name is Jay Fallon. This is all my opinion. Please check things out for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Thanks for your support. Give me a like and a share. Thanks for listening.
They just fuel a desire that will take me higher. I'm on fire because nothing